Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas France YouTube channel. I'm in my girlfriend's house right now, as you can tell from the pink pillows. Not my pink pillows, don't judge me. Let's talk Monday Night Raw. Anyways, I think I should start off with not what started the show, but what was in the middle of the show, what we were all waiting for, the Judgment Day. Now, when the show started, the Judgment Day all pulled up, but not with Dom and Liv. Dom and Liv pulled up themselves in the Cadillac, or it's not a Cadillac, what is it? The bouncy car, Dom feeling himself. He's got Liv Morgan back. He's got the Intercontinental title back. He just beat John Cena. Absolute scenes. And when they came out to cut a promo, Liv was there saying, outsmarted Cena. Dom was out there saying he's the greatest of all time and all this stuff. And Liv was saying she missed the Judgment Day and all this. And he has me waiting for Liv to turn on Roxanne Perez. But what she actually says is since she's been gone, she's heard a lot of talk about the Judgment Day, about how they aren't as good as they once were, about how they don't have all the stuff they once had. So because she's back, she's driven to put the Judgment Day back on top. And I believe her. Because at the end of our main event, now what was the main event? Well, we had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss confront Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Bear in mind they just teamed up because Io Sky and Rhea Ripley want to go after the Kabuki Warriors and get the tag team titles as revenge on the Kabuki Warriors. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair weren't fond of that idea because they never got their rematch and they think they deserve it, especially for teaming up with Alexa and Rhea. So that was the main event, was that tag team match, and that is a mental tag team match. I mean, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, that is amazing. And I was quite ready for Io and Rhea to win, or Rio as they're calling each other now, because obviously we've seen Charlotte and Alexa do that. Rhea and Io would make good sense. Until the Kabuki Warriors came in and broke it up, causing a disqualification. Bayley and Lyra then came and make the save, because we've seen them backstage earlier trying to get a shot for the tag team titles off of Adam Pearce and Asuka, confronting them saying, we lost because you didn't join our team, Bayley. And you're not doing nothing. You're not in the main event. Look who's in the main event, Charlotte Flair. So Bayley and Lyra came to help, and we had 4 tag teams. And here I am thinking, oh, hang on. First of all, this women's tag team division has absolutely been revitalised. Could we potentially have a fatal 4-way? Kabuki Warriors, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Rio, and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Until the Judgment Day showed up. Liv Morgan I can't even remember who it was. She swiped someone off the announce desk. I think it might have been Bayley. Or, no, it was Lyra Valkyria, actually. And then Raquel and Roxanne beating everybody up. And Judgment Day were left standing tall. And Roxanne picked up the other tag team title and went to hand it to Liv. Because if you remember, Liv got injured when she was tag team champion. And Roxanne took her place. Roxanne was being respectful here. She handed the title to Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan said, nah, and handed it back. Showing, not only is she not going to turn on Roxanne, but Roxanne belongs in the Judgment Day. And Liv wants that for Roxanne. Because Liv wants bigger things. Liv wants the Women's World Championship, and it's obvious. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Liv to go after Stephanie Baker. But we've got 5 teams right now in the running for those tag team titles. And honestly, if that results in a massive match, absolutely here for it. And if it results in the Judgment Day getting the tag team titles back, again, I'm here for it. Let's do it. So yeah, Judgment Day are back, reclaiming on top. Women's tag team division is revitalized. Let's talk about the men's tag team division, because SmackDown have been carrying the tag team division all year, and Raw have been doing nothing. And we had like the Judgment Day we'll actually start off the year maybe with the Judgment Day, and then the War Raiders won them, and then at WrestleMania New Day won them, and then Judgment Day won them back. And it seemed like people would win the championships, hold them for months, and then defend them once and lose. And that was until AJ Styles and Dragon Lee won those World Tag Team Championships off of the Judgment Day. They gave them a rematch quickly later, and then they're back this week defending against the New Day in a great match. That had a great sequence where AJ Styles hung Kofi Kingston up on the ropes. Dragon Lee hit a double stomp to the back of the neck of Kofi, and he landed it in a Styles Clash. It was amazing. And AJ Styles and Dragon Lee successfully retained the World Tag Team titles. As much as I want to see the New Day back on top, I'm happy that they retained because the match was good. And they went up to Adam Pearce and said, we want to be defending champions. We want to defend next week. And they named their challengers. They said the War Raiders. So next week we're getting another title match. And it's going to be the War Raiders. And the War Raiders are good and they deserve to shine. So I'm glad these tag team divisions are being put back on top and revitalised. Which I'm praying WWE, because they seem to not be able to have all three divisions, mid-card, tag and world, all running at the same time. But they're somewhat doing it. I mean, Dom's not got a new challenger yet, but we know Maxine does. We've seen a little training video of her training with Natalia and overcoming struggle. Pretty decent hype package. Ivy Nile confronted Adam Pearce saying, look, you're giving me a shot at that title, I want the next shot. And Adam Pearce was like, fine. So he's giving Ivy Nile the next shot, not Becky Lynch. And we know Becky Lynch is going to be pissed off about that, because she's so pissed off about when she lost the title, pissed off about losing the War Games. And she has this whole thing going on with Adam Pearce. She's creating her own narratives and her own social media videos. She's doing amazing work. And she's saying she's going to boycott Monday Night Raw until something's done about all the stuff that's happening. Jessica Carr gets suspended and the title gets taken off of Maxine and given back to Becky and all this sort of stuff. And she gets an apology from Adam Pearce. So she's not there to back her case. And I'm pretty sure she'll be very mad about Ivy Nile cutting the line. And it's funny because Ivy Nile has not been anywhere for months, but she seems to show up when Maxine Dupree has a championship. But she raised a good point, is that Maxine Dupree's never beaten her. And they have had multiple matches, so fair enough. Yeah. So that division's still going strong, but I'd love to, it's nice to see Maxine get an opportunity and Ivy getting an opportunity, but eventually we need to put that title back on Becky and take this shit seriously, because Becky was a fantastic champion. Next level champion. Like, it's undeniable how good of a champion Becky is, and yeah. Then we had the two semi-final matches for the Last Time Is Now tournament. LA Knight and Jey Uso, Gunther and Solo Sikoa. LA Knight and Jey Uso had a pretty decent match. We've seen his match a bunch of times this year, and Jey Uso looked quite good in that match. He wasn't botching or missing or half-arsing moves. He wasn't slow or lethargic. He was quick on his feet. He was landing correct. His timing was there. It was a good match, and he got rolled up at the end, and LA Knight ended up with the win, which was mental because I didn't see that coming. And eventually Jey Uso just kicked off, started smashing shit up and throwing shit everywhere. And then when he was leaving, Jackie tried to get a comment off of him, and he ignored her, but she kept trying. And he kicked off. He says he doesn't care about Braun Breaker, he doesn't care about the Vision, he doesn't care about nothing. All these things are distractions. And Roman Reigns was right in that the titles would look good on him and not himself, not Jey Uso. And Jey Uso's kind of just accepting defeat, and he's in a dark place. So I'm quite interested to see where they're going to go with Jey Uso's character. Is he going to turn heel? Is he going to have a decent storyline? I don't know, but I'm excited. Genuinely, I am. I thought at the end Brock Lesnar was going to come out. And maybe Jey Uso, Brock Lesnar is something we can do, as long as Jey Uso doesn't win. But that is a good way to build up a babyface, is have him face Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar will handle that. And talking to the Vision, well, Paul Heyman showed up earlier to Adam Pearce with Braun Breaker, raised a good point, said Braun Breaker, well, first of all, they had to address that they knew nothing about the Mask character, which Adam Pearce tried to get so much information on this episode of Monday Night Raw, even from referees getting them to go undercover and all that. And there was word that Seth Rollins was walking around without a sling it. Survivor Series, but we all know it's not Seth Rollins. Yeah, and Paul Heyman raised a good point that Braun Breaker pinned the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and should have a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. And then that was later on when Paul Heyman came out with Braun Bronson and Logan Paul, confirming Logan Paul is still a member of the Vision. And that's what he did confirm. He said, thank you, Brock Lesnar, one of a kind specimen. Thank you, Drew McIntyre, we couldn't have done it without you. And then he said thanks to Bronson Reed, who is an unimaginable talent. And then thanked Logan Paul for being one of the biggest mainstream superstars on the planet and an official member of Paul Heyman's vision for the future. And I think that makes perfect sense. If we're talking Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed as two members of the vision, because the vision is supposed to be for people who should be major league stars in the future but aren't being built up right now. That is what the vision is for. Bronson Reed, we know, has that in-ring talent and has the potential, and so does Bron Breakker. But they're not at that pedestal yet that Seth Rollins was at, and that's what the whole vision is about. And Logan Paul should be in that list, considering Logan Paul will always be at a disadvantage because he was an outsider. But he has the talent to back it up, so Logan Paul should absolutely be a part of that faction. But they're still mentioning nothing about the masked character. But what did happen was Bron Breakker went off on the microphone, cut his own promo, didn't have Paul Heyman speak for him, went in on CM Punk, and said how he's going to take that World Heavyweight title, and said how he mentioned how after WrestleMania, CM Punk came up to him and said, well done on all your success in your career. Maybe one day we'll see how you can hang in a promo with the big guys. And this was Bron cutting an impeccable promo on CM Punk. And they confirmed that in January, the start of January, on the 1 year anniversary of Raw on Netflix, Bron Breakker will challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. And I'm here for it. Bron Breakker should win it. Genuinely. Bron Breakker should have been World Heavyweight Champion when Seth relinquished it. If the story was that he took out Seth, that should be it. Simple as. Obviously, we know it was in the match with Cody Rhodes, but Bron Breakker should be winning that. And I'm just here for it. After that promo, I believe Bron Breakker was the star that we all thought he was going to be. And I love it. I just love it. And yeah, the other last time is now a tournament match. Gunther, Solo Squad. This match was quite long as well. Like, they went to war, and honestly, this was a hard one, because I was like, that's a matchup I don't think I've ever seen. They did mention on commentary that it's happened before in NXT, but like, since then they're all different. Like, Solo was skinnier in NXT, and Gunther was heavier in NXT. Do you know what I mean? And it was interesting to see, like, Solo, someone who like can be quite hard to beat, and having Talatonga in his corner, and Gunther, someone who's hard hitting and a good wrestler. They went back and forth the whole match. There was a couple moments where I thought Solo might steal it, you know, where Talatonga got involved and cheated and all this, but the ref caught Talatonga trying to cheat, and that's when Gunther was able to hit a low blow on Solo and then hit him with the finisher and win. So Gunther gets the win. And yeah, we've got Gunther and LA Knight in the final, and that's happening this week on SmackDown, which means we still have next week's Monday Night Raw and SmackDown in between the Cena match, but Cena's not going to be there. We're not going to see Cena till Saturday night's main event, so that means we've got two potential shows with the opponent of John Cena not doing anything. Is there still time for shenanigans, for a shake-up, for someone we're waiting to see? I don't know, but I don't want to keep our hopes up in case it doesn't happen, and then I feel underwhelmed with what happens, because Gunther is a great opponent for John Cena to retire against, don't get me wrong. There's many other options I would have put first, but out of what we've got, I'd say Gunther's still a decent option. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not, as long as LA Knight doesn't win. I'm quite surprised LA Knight's got this far. So I think we all know who's going to win that final match, but I'm quite hyped for it. And match of the night absolutely goes to Gunther and Solo Sikoa. And you wouldn't think it, looking at that card, you know, when you have LA Knight and Jey Uso, which is you have Dragon Lee, AJ Styles, and the New Day, which nearly took it, to be fair. And then you had Charlotte and Alexa versus Io and Rhea, which again, nearly took it. But Gunther and Solo, just for the hard-hitting action, the back and forth, like, they have to take match of the night for me. But that's my opinions on Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.